we're obviously super excited about NewFronts coming back in person. We've had 2 years of really, really exceptional virtual presentations, very, very successful. I think that one of the things that we have learned as a collective industry is how beneficial it could be to get a far broader swath of attendees in a virtual environment. And I think we've experienced that firsthand with the NewFronts over the past 2 years during the pandemic. This year, we're doing a little bit of it's a little bit of a hybrid approach. Obviously, we have presenters that wanted to do what they have historically done, get a venue, put together a production, which we are live streaming on IAB.com. So that should be awesome. And then we have some presenters who preferred the benefits that virtual afforded. And we have some of that happening on Wednesday morning, and all day Thursday will be a virtual day. We've also done something that we did last year. We're doing it again, which is to open up the aperture for attendees to the NewFronts, to folks that might not necessarily either know about it or have the opportunity to attend. So that is colleges and universities, folks that are looking to get into this business. We also have an initiative at IAB focused on small and mid-sized businesses. We are inviting all of those folks who have joined that coalition, Internet for Growth, to attend the NewFronts. So we're super excited about the kind of breadth and depth that 2022 looks to bring.
So tell us about some of the themes, and clearly CTV is a big part of it. You have several of the big programmers and related companies that provide the infrastructure. What is the conversation around CTV? And tell us about some of the research that you're just now releasing.
Sure. Our thematic for this year is Stream On, which I think pays homage to the fact that consumers are choosing to stream just about everything all the time in whatever venue or whatever device that is most convenient for them. It's a hackneyed kind of term to say that the pandemic has kind of accelerated the trends that we're seeing, but that is no further from the truth than in the streaming space. So this is the time spent, the attention that consumers are giving streaming services are at an all-time high. We do research every year with PwC for the past 26 years to track the industry advertising revenue kind of year on year. And then I'll talk about kind of video in specific, but overall digital in 2021, this is last year, was up 35%, which is the most growth that we've seen in digital in the past 15 years, since 2006. Digital video in 2020 as a kind of comparison point was 21% growth. Digital video in 2021 was 51% growth. So astronomical growth in the digital video space. So we double click on that and just go to CTV specifically. We're releasing some research that we did in collaboration with Advertiser Perceptions and SMI, which looks at CTV growth in 2021 was 57%, and 2022 we're just projecting, based on what we heard from brands and agencies, to be 39% growth. So we're talking about significant movement of dollars into streaming channels, and I think that us as consumers are seeing that we are consuming more and more of our entertainment, information, sports, etc., via a streaming channel. So this is not entirely surprising.
Now, David, big audience, focused audience is the buyers, the buying community. What do you hope the buyers get out of it, and where does it stand in terms of their understanding the value of streaming, the utility of buying? Where does the marketplace stand, and what do you hope the NewFront sort of makes happen, if you will, for the buy side?
Sure. NewFronts has always been about kind of celebrating creativity in storytelling, in content, in technology, in the use of data. it's not one dimensional. So I think that the schedule that we have put together this year, people should walk away from that thinking, good heavens, there is a tremendous breadth of really immersive, very well done, high quality content for us to get involved with. And there's an array of technology solutions, data solutions that we also need to be apprised of and aware of. One of the things that we heard from our research, which has been affecting basically mobile and desktop, is the deprecation of third-party identifiers, deprecation of cookies, mobile IDs, etc. CTV seems to be, at the moment, a recipient of some of that ambiguity, some of that concern around where some of those dollars go. Folks are moving that money into the CTV space. I think that eventually IP address, which is kind of obviously important in the CTV ecosystem, will also be under kind of regulatory and privacy considerations. But for the moment, CTV seems to be a primary recipient of some of that those dollars being reallocated. The last thing I would say on this is that the NewFronts is always bimodal. There's two things that are going on there. Number one, it's to be kept abreast of all of the latest and greatest offerings for the market. If you're a brand, to know where to put your brand dollars or your marketing dollars. If you're an agency, how to steward your clients' money. And it's also about relationship building. This is still a business that is built on relationships and trust and respect, and making sure that we're going to kind of go through thick and thin together, which I think the industry has shown in full kind of splendor over the past 2 years. So the relationship element is very hard to replicate in a virtual environment, but I think in real life, in person, it should be much easier. So I'm incredibly excited about the opportunities for next week.